I'm Lindsay Ferris, and this is my fiance, Dustin Martin. Go ahead, Dustin.
So Lindsay, why are you participating in the memory walk?
My grandfather, I call him Papa Durf, Fred Ferris, passed away of Alzheimer's this last December, and it's still very fresh in my mind. His brother, my great uncle Ray, also had Alzheimer's, or has Alzheimer's right now. He's fighting the battle. And my grandmother, Colleen Allen, on my mom's side of the family, is also battling Alzheimer's at this time. And with so many people in my family, and so many important people in my family who are affected by it or have been affected by it, I just felt like it really was something I had to do.
So how did these Alzheimer's diagnosis affect your life?
Sadly, it opened me up to a disease that I didn't really know anything about. I didn't want to know anything about it. I've seen the side effects of it, and once my grandfather was diagnosed, at first, and not knowing a lot about the disease, I'm like, he can fight it, he's strong, he's vivacious. But then learning more, after the diagnosis, I realized obviously there isn't a cure. And it just kind of makes you appreciate those around you. It's made me appreciate my family heritage a lot more. As far as trying to learn as much as you can about the people who made you here today, who made you a part of this life or this world, and learning about their history, because there's going to be a point where you may not be able to ask them those questions anymore because they're not going to remember either. And I feel like a lot of who you are as a person comes from your family and who they were.
What have you learned, and what advice would you give someone who's experiencing a recent diagnosis that might help them?
Just take it day by day and just realize that it's hard to see and it's hard to watch. But the person who has Alzheimer's, they're still in there somewhere, and sometimes that's hard to see because they're confused, they can't remember who you are, their personalities change, their spirit might change. But if you look further and you look into their eyes, they're still there, and even though they may not remember that you met with them the day before or the week before, it's still important to be there for them, because when it's all said and done, they'll remember, and it makes you feel better too. It's a disease that you have to be patient with. And literally, again, you have to take it day by day. There's really not too much that you can do to prevent the disease. Obviously, there's no cure, but you can do little tasks to help you remember. You can do lots of different things to help you change the pattern maybe, or push it back from starting earlier, different tests. And it's just absorb all the research and information that you can ahead of time to help you understand and get through it if a loved one is affected by it.
So Lindsay, what has helped you through this process?
First and foremost, you, my great friends, and the rest of our family. I mean, you really start to come together when a loved one is affected by this disease. You start pulling resources wherever you can, and you share it with each other. A lot of those resources come from the Alzheimer's Association, their websites, their book sources, their anything and everything that you can want to know about Alzheimer's, the progression of Alzheimer's, things to help you get through it as far as coping, or how to handle somebody who is affected by Alzheimer's, who has the disease, caregiver information, which is huge, It takes a very, very special person to take care of somebody who has Alzheimer's. And their services are invaluable. The information that you find on the website or anything is from the Alzheimer's Association is in a sense a lifesaver for everybody else around them. Is that it? Is that the last question?
Is that it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.